What is up, and welcome back. Another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt. We got Jon Jones retirement news. Finally, the word is out. The saga is over. We're going to get into all of that. We're also recapping UFC Baku. PFL had their semifinals. BKFC had a couple of UFC vets on there. We're going to talk about all of that. This is also a Q&A episode, so if you got any questions, drop them in the chat. Be happy to get to them. We got International Fight Week coming up also, so we can talk a little bit about that as well. Now, this is the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer, but I don't have a beer to drink today. Today I have a strawberry lemonade, Wellspring Fields. What's going on, DJ Serenity now? How the hell you doing, man? Got this 55 milligrams of something, or 55, good amount, 55 grams of something in here. And we're going to see how it does me for the show. That is pretty yummy. But yeah, UFC announces after the Baku show where we had 2 finishes on 12 fights, Dana White comes out and announces that Jon Jones is going to be retiring, no longer holding up the division. And with that, we're no longer going to have to deal with that saga of will he or won't he fight. We don't have to listen to, we don't have to read these articles of, oh, Jon's coming back, or someone said they think Jon's coming back. It's done. Tom's now the man. And yeah, I'm with you, DJ. He said he's happy the Jones thing is done, and I'm in the same exact boat. I was of the thought process where I don't think it's going to happen. If it does happen, that's great. Great fight to make, but I'm not dying to see it. I'm not clamoring for any Jon Jones fight. He's old. He's great. He was the best I've ever seen do it. But at this point, if he doesn't want to fight, he doesn't want to fight. And I also don't really want to see the guy lose to Tom Aspinall, because I don't think Tom Aspinall, well, he's been great so far. I don't think he's going to be the standard of perfection that people are putting him up there as. Yes, he's the next up-and-comer, but he's not fought the likes of the guys Jon Jones has had. And for all the shit Jon Jones has put us fans through for the past couple years, I think there's a lot of bad taste in people's mouths, especially newer fans who have only seen him fight 2 or 3 times in the past 5 years. They don't know how great Jon was, how active he was. They didn't get to see him beat these Hall of Famers live when light heavyweight was the UFC's premier division. So many new fans from the COVID era, from the McGregor era even, they don't know what Jon Jones was, because when the fans that came in the McGregor era, they got to see Jon Jones beat people like, Gustafsson twice, Daniel Cormier, which was a great win, but then also Vince St. Preux, Dominic Reyes, Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith. Wins like that are much less impressive, and when that's what you're seeing and he's barely eking them out, or he looks bored in there, just it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. But when you watched him choke out Lyoto Machida live and you thought he unalived Lyoto Machida, that was something that was just legendary to see. You look at what he was able to do to Rampage and kick his knees off. He took out guys like Ryan Bader, like I said, OSP, but everybody at the beginning of his career was finishing. The only guy that he has a loss to is Matt Hamill, and that should have been a finish victory as well. He beat the absolute tar out of Matt Hamill. So, we can move on from Jon Jones. We can recognize his greatness. We can be pissed off that he held up the division for this long, but also we can be pissed at the UFC for allowing him to hold up the division this long, because what the fuck are we doing, UFC? Like, he said he's told you for a while what his plans are. You knew he was retired. Don't keep trying to convince these guys to come back. You did the same exact thing with Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he never came back. It holds things up. It gives people hope, something to look forward to. But if you know it's not going to happen, just don't fucking do it. Take the belt from Jon and say if he wants to come back, he's guaranteed a title shot. But, now Tom Aspinall, he's been promoted to the heavyweight champion. Undisputed. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. A lot of people like myself, have been recognizing this man as the undisputed champion for quite some time now. And he's got he's in a weird position, because now that Jon's out of it, who does he fight? Nobody wants to see him fight Cyril Gane, even though that's what the name that's being thrown out there is. Nobody wants to see that fight, because Gane hasn't fought very much and looked like shit in his last outing. Got a bad decision win over Alexander Volkov. The other choice is Yalton Almeida, who was knocked out by Curtis Blades, but has steamrolled everybody since then and everybody before that. But again, how deserving is he? Because heavyweight's so damn weak. We got clips. He's going to do it. It's not official yet. Nobody knows anything. But if you know Pereira, you know the guy's just going for gold. He's weighing 245. He's walking around big as shit. He's moving up to heavyweight, trying to do what no man has ever done before, and that's capture 3 belts. So I think Pereira's going to be his next opponent. If the UFC doesn't do that, then they're fucking up. I mean, who else is going to sell a fight like Pereira? Nobody at heavyweight can sell a fight right now. I mean, Gon's not selling a fight. Volkov's not selling a fight. Almeida's not selling a fight. Curtis Blades isn't selling a fight. It's not, there's nothing there. So poor Tom Aspinall, he's got to take on Alex Pereira, which is a favorable matchup for the guy. Don't get me wrong. But after that, who is there at heavyweight? Because the division's so depleted, and you had this guy like Jon Jones at the top of the division that he went out there, and when he did what he did to Cyril Gane, it was like, oh shit, heavyweight might not really be that good. Jon just walked in here and took this guy's head off, and he was the number 1 heavyweight at the time. So heavyweight's kind of in the gutters. Tom's just hanging out. He's going to be able to clean house, but Jon just really fucked up the heavyweight division. UFC fucked up the heavyweight division. It used to be such a fun division. We also got to blame USADA for this. But yes, the end of the Jon Jones MMA saga. That is over. And we move on to a new Jon Jones saga, a new criminal saga where he was involved in an accident, fleeing the scene of a crime, has a court date on July 24th to figure things out. From what I read on uncrowned.com, I have the article linked in the description of this video, but from what I've read on uncrowned.com, Jones had this girl that was drinking at his house, doing shrooms with him. They leave the house. She's blackout drunk, getting an accident. Jones flees the scene. Cops show up. She doesn't have pants on. She's intoxicated as shit. And then the cops, they call Jon Jones. He wouldn't identify himself. He sounded like he may have been making some ominous threats. Very Jon Jones behavior. You love to see it. You love to see that the guy never changes. Guy still, even outside of the ring, always giving us something to talk about. Jon Jones is nothing but consistent. You know, the guy has been saying for a while he didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. He's not going to fight Tom Aspinall. He's been saying for a while that he's retired. He retires. And, you know, for the longest time, this guy has been being a piece of shit human, getting in accidents, fleeing the scene of the crime, crimes against women, crimes against just disregard for the law. That's Jon Jones' MO, and you gotta love exactly, DJ, you gotta love the consistency. I mean, you can't, we got people like Kamaru Usman, who he's on top of the world 1 minute, crying the next. You know, he's a very different person minute to minute. We got this Jon Jones character who is nothing but consistent. He has done nothing but show us that he is not going to falter. He's holding true to his morals, holding true to his values, and you love to see that out of a fighter. True champion. But yeah, we also had UFC fights happen this weekend. Not a lot of people gave a shit about them because they sucked, but we're going to break that down because Jamal Hill, Khalil Rountree, fight was a dud. Khalil looked good, did what he needed to do, but Jamal, let me know what you thought in the comments. I thought Jamal looked like shit. Yeah, I mean, his feet were crossing. Khalil's walking him down, and like I said, Khalil kicked his legs off. I mean, I said it in the pre-fight. He's going to kick his legs off. Jamal's got bad footwork. He can't get out of the way. He's going to get his legs kicked off, and that's what happened out there. Once Jamal's legs were damaged, Khalil just hunted him down, dropped him several times throughout the fight. ESPN stats, they just fucking gave up on UFC. Their stats are just dead wrong. There's another fight on here I'll get to where the stats are dead wrong, but they have Khalil listed as 1 knockdown. He had 2 knockdowns in 1 round, I think 3 throughout the fight. So ESPN just stopped giving a shit. They had the Oralby fight listed as only 4 total significant strikes landed throughout the whole thing. But yeah, ESPN just fucking gave up with UFC. I think that they know that contract negotiations are what they are. But yeah, that main event was fucking horrible. We were in the main card minute chat, DJ Serenity and I, and nobody was paying attention to that fight after the third round. I mean, you were watching it, but who gave a shit about that? Because it was obvious Jamal just kind of sucked, and Khalil's like, hey, I'm not going to do anything dumb. I'm just going to win the fight. And he did the right thing. I mean, he went out, had the war with Pereira. He doesn't need to do that anymore. He can go out and show the technical side of Khalil Rountree. He didn't grapple fuck him for 5 rounds. He went out there and struck him. He can't help that Jamal Hill just sucks at fighting anymore and can't fight back. And then after the fight, the best thing about it all, Jamal Hill, confused as hell by the scorecards that he lost every round on 2 judges' cards. And then he goes up to Khalil and he said, why didn't you go to war with me, or why didn't you brawl with me? And Khalil's just kind of sitting there like, what do you mean this is not just go out there and swing leather till I die? This is a fight. I got to protect myself. Jamal Hill just continuing to be tone deaf. Shit fighter anymore. Shit human being. Jamal Hill. Shout out. All right, that's 55 grams just about down the hatch. Oh, I'm going to be a fucking mess by the end. An absolute mess. But we move on to the co-main event. Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Yeah, exactly. Before we get into that, DJ Serenity. Why didn't you go to war with me? Bro, you got knocked down multiple times. What? I held up my end of the bargain. Like, did you want me to just let you punch me in the face too? Like, when you're wrestling with your little cousin or your little brother and it's like, oh, let him win a little bit. So you let him hit you and beat you around for a second. That's what Jamal wanted. He's like, hey, this fight sucked because you beat the shit out of me, dude. What are you doing beating me up? Like, we got to give the fans something. Let me hit you. Come on, man. Khalil was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I did my part. You didn't do yours. Pathetic stuff there. But Jamal Hill, kind of a pathetic human being the past couple years. Ever since he lost to Pereira, he's just been one of those super cringy UFC fighters. A lot of the guys just lean into the cringe. They don't have a personality, and not having a personality, they think, hey, if any publicity is good publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, so we're just gonna go out there and do what Triple C did. Triple C, first one to do it. Can't hate him for doing it. He was trying something new, but now is it Jamal Hill, Colby Covington, all these guys? Are they trying to be cringe, or are they just tone deaf and don't understand? So, sorry, 1 second here. And yeah, so Jamal, get the shit fuck out of here. Just you go to war with me. Yeah, I'll go to war with you. I'll swing leather, but you'll beat the shit out of me, and then I'll get up and be like, bro, you beat the fuck out of me. I thought it was gonna be a war. The fucking clown. I don't like to dog the fighters though, because that's not what this is about. But Jamal did look really bad out there. You know, he crossing his feet in the boxing. His strikes were slow. He had no checks for the kicks. So, happy trails, good riddance. Give the guy Carlos Olberg. I want to see Khalil take on Dom Reyes. I think he could punch Dom's chin off, and if Dom's chin is still there, or if it's back, then I think that's a hell of a fight. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what's next. Light heavyweight's finally looking up. But we're going to move on to the co-main event. And this is where all the fans seem to filter out in Azerbaijan as the last Azerbaijanian on the card. Rafael Fiziev took on Ignacio Bahamondes in what was sure to be an absolute banger. 2 very different strikers. We got a tall, lanky striker versus a short, compact, fast striker. And what do you know? The fight kind of sucked. Rafael Fiziev goes in there, pieces up Ignacio with higher volume. He mixed in the takedowns, but just kind of a bummer of a fight. I was expecting a lot more out of it. Is what it is. Fiziev still got it. Ignacio wasn't what I thought it was, but yeah, I don't know what to. I don't know. I really don't have a lot for this. This card was really fucking rough, especially the main event and the co-main event, and yeah, it was just rough. So I don't know, but yeah, Khalil versus Dom. How fun is that? Because the question about Dom at this point is the chin there? Like, he hasn't really been hit in these fights. Is the chin there with how he's been getting cracked? And for Khalil, can he fight somebody that's a big technical striker, a big technical guy like what Pereira was, I really don't think there's questions about Khalil. It's just, Khalil, show that you're still there. Show you're not too battle scarred from the Pereira fight. But, man, UFC had a bit of a setback when you think about the prospect list they have for the next couple years. While Ignacio Bahamondes is still young, he kind of seemed to be at the head of that for 155. You got the Arman Sarukians who are already there, but the guys that are outside of the top 15 looking in, you had Ignacio Bahamondes right there. And a win over Fiziev, it catapults him there. And when one guy breaks through, you can kind of start filtering other guys from that generation in. And that's been the problem with lightweight all along, is you have these core group of people, the Charles Oliveira, the Beneil Dariush to an extent, the Justin Gaethje, the Dustin Poirier. You have these guys, the Gamrots, at the top who have just been holding the division down for damn near a decade now. And these new guys just cannot break into it. And Fiziev was a guy that couldn't break into that as well. So what's he do? He's in the top 15 still. He's like, I'm going to fight somebody right on the outside looking in. And if they beat me, that's their way in. That's their stepping stone to get to the top 10. Well, it's just a constant thing of, listen, if I'm older, I'm better than you. Only at lightweight, apparently. It's crazy stuff. But that's where we're at in the sport. So Ignacio Bahamondes taking the L just kind of turns back the clock on getting rid of these older fighters in the lightweight division, because it is just full of old guys right now, or guys that have been around forever. So, yeah, just moving on. We don't need to spend all day talking about Rafael Fiziev and Ignacio Bahamondes. So, move on real quick. Curtis Blades had he was gifted a decision over Rizvan Kuniev, and, good for Curtis Blades. It was a bad fight. I thought he won round 1, lost rounds 2 and 3, tore his knee or busted it up in round 1, so he's just trying to survive. But the judges didn't see it that way. There must be some sort of long-term punishment for Rizvan Kuniev pissing through a cup in his last PFL fight and popping hot for every type of juice, pill, and anything else you could find on the market the guy had in his system. So, we get past that. Curtis Blades, is he washed? I don't know. This was kind of a weird matchup for him. Yeah, I didn't care who won either by the end of that fight. It was like, get it over with. The only thing I was thinking was like, give it to Curtis, because I don't want Curtis to lose to somebody. I like what he stands for. The guy's got a stutter, mental health, anti-bullying, all that. Good guy. Just what a dull fight, and what a dull fight card. Now we move on. These next two fights we get to talk about, the only two finishes on the night. First up, we had Muktabek Orobai. He took on Tafik Musayev, and there was not a lot of striking in this. ESPN has that right, but it says only 2 significant strikes landed by each guy. That can't be right, because Tafik Musayev had a little section in there where he had a 4 or 5 strike combo land on Orobai, so numbers just aren't adding up there. But Orobai kind of wrestle fucks the guy for a majority of the first round until he finds a Kimura. And the camera angle of that fight was perfect. They had the sky cam looking straight down with Orobai on top, locking in the Kimura, and you're looking down and you see Tafik Musayev scream in agony with his hand kind of caught under Orobai's thigh against his chest. He rips that arm through, starts tapping out as quick as he can. I mean, It was a nice finish. Orobai, good to see him bounce back after a fight of the year contender last year with Mateusz Rubeski. And, I mean, the guy can do it all. He can go out there and he can get beat in the face. He can strike with you. He's not the most technical striker, but he's a good striker. He's good enough. And on the ground, he's a nightmare. Good wrestler, great submissions. Muktabek Orobai. And he's only 27 years old. The guy looks like he was built out of stone, a poor drawing on a hieroglyphic or something. Looks bizarre, but only 27, and he does the damn thing, gets it done. So, speaking of fight of the year, though, with Muktabek Orobai and Mateusz Rubeski, the fight before this, we had Nazim Sadikov and Nicholas Mota, and while it only lasted about 2 rounds, this one was also a fight of the year contender. Fun as hell. We went out there. we didn't go out there. Nazim Sadikov and Nicholas Moto went out there, and Nicholas Moto was cracking Sadikov early. Had him up against the cage. They were both swinging, but Moto unleashed this like 50 punch combination up against the cage. And early on, they're catching Sadikov. Eventually, Sadikov starts catching him with his elbows, blocking him. And when Moto seems a little bit gassed, Sadikov comes back, throws a head kick, throws a body kick, backs him up, starts landing some punches of his own, back and forth. And then in round 2, these guys are still going at it. They're both swinging. But Sadikov starts walking Moto down, gets him up against the cage. Moto's gassed, and Sadikov just blasts him with a shot, puts him down, and then just not hammer rights. They're more like shovel shots, just straight to Moto against the cage as he's out. Beautiful finish. And both guys, rightfully so, they got $100,000 bonus after this. They both got the fight of the night and performance of the night. Had to be 1, it was fight of the year potential, and 2, because the other fights just absolutely sucked ass. So, $100,000 for a loser though, you gotta love that. And I don't imagine the taxes in Azerbaijan are terrible. They probably aren't taxing these guys too much. And then running through the rest of the card, Muhammad Naimov picked up a decision victory over Bogdan Grad. Pretty dull fight. Xiao Kyung Ko pulled off big upset over Oban Elliott. Beat the shit out of the guy on the feet. Ragdolled him on the ground. Did what he needed to do. Gets the decision victory. Plus 360 dog for Xiao Kyung Ko. Love to see that. And then we had Jun Sung Park, the Iron Turtle. Goes out there. Gets the unanimous decision victory, but that wasn't what was super impressive about the fight. What was super impressive about the fight is a referee actually took 1 point, and he didn't take 1 point. He took 2 points. Iron Turtle gets kneed on the ground. Several fouls in this fight, or penalties, fouls. Regardless, he gets kneed in the head, and eyes fucked up, head's all fucked up. He's all fucked up. Looked like he was out, and the ref's like, hey, I'm not going to stop it if you're good to go. Iron Turtle's like, yes, absolutely want to fight. Goes out there, takes 2 points from Ismail Nardiev. And Nardiev was winning the fight up until that point. After that, Iron Turtle turns it on. So with the 2 points deducted, Iron Turtle still would have won the fight whether or not that had happened. So he gets the damn thing done, but not a real entertaining fight. And none of the fights on the prelims were real entertaining. Except for Daria, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, pronunciation, Zelezniakova took on Melissa Mullins. They had a scrap. They were swinging leather back and forth. Both girls were bloodied. They were beating each other up. Zelezniakova was the victor in that one. She was getting the better of Melissa Mullins, it appeared, the entire fight. But Melissa Mullins put up some good work. And she almost got an armbar, I think, in there. I'd have to go back and check that now, but I'm not going to because it was a prelim on UFC Baku, and that card sucked. So we're not going to go back to that. But yeah, that was a fun fight. That I thought was going to get fight of the night until we got to see Mota and Sadikov go to war. And then we had Claudia Segula gets a dominant decision victory over the Russian Ronda, Irina Alexeyeva. That's got to be wrong. Tagir Ulanbekov, he gets a decision over Azmat Maxim. Yeah, Maxim. And then Muhammad Usman and Hamdi Abdallah. They had a slop fest. It was sloppy as hell. Hamdi goes out there, wins round 1, but Mo Usman, that Usman fighting spirit, he goes out there and he starts ringing heads. He starts landing on Hamdi. Both these guys look like they're a little inexperienced and don't really know how to fight. Mo Usman looks so bad every time he gets hit. He doesn't look wobbled. It just looks like it knocks him off balance. Not wobbles him, not even hurts him. Just like he's so off balance. If you push him a little bit, it's gonna knock him over, and that's what those strikes do. That's what it appears when Mo Usman's fighting. So that was a dud. But you couldn't have guessed that was gonna be a dud. Mo Usman snapping Hamdi Abdallah Wahhab's undefeated streak. Who could have seen that coming? Mo Usman for heavyweight champ 2026. Let's go. And then PFL had their semifinals this weekend. Card absolutely sucked. Just like the UFC card. But yeah, this card sucked. Not a lot on it. In the main event, we had, Kevin Lee. Goodness gracious. happy trails. He could acknowledge after the fight that this was the case, but Gadzi Rabanov, he goes out there, steamrolls Kevin Lee, beating him up every time he lands a shot. Kevin's knees just are buckled. Eventually, he face plants Kevin Lee and finishes him up with ground and pound. Ugly sight to see for a guy that was once really good. Kevin Lee puts out a statement after the fight and says, hey, listen, my knees aren't what they used to be. I can't take a shot like I could anymore, or like I used to be able to, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to again. So that's where we're at with that. You never know when it's going to go, and Kevin Lee, he never got to reach the mountaintop for a guy that was so athletic and so skilled, so powerful. He was a dog in there in his prime. He was never able to get to that mountaintop, and now it's a little too late for him. But on to some more, less somber news. We had BKFC 76 go down this weekend. Andrei Arlovsky, he gets a doctor stoppage TKO in round 4 over Josh Copeland, and he just scissors the dude's face up. I mean, cuts it up. He looked nasty. It was nice. So Andrei Arlovsky, former UFC heavyweight champion, still out there doing the damn thing. And then we had Jessica I, after being kissed by Maria Agapova, who's also a UFC vet, in the weigh-ins, or the ceremonial weigh-ins, she goes out there, wins every round against Maria Agapova for a decision victory in her first BKFC fight. And other than that, though, UFC broadcast rights deal, Dana White has all but confirmed that it's going to be split between multiple providers. So we're not going to have this ESPN Plus package where everything's in one place. And while I don't love ESPN and I don't love ESPN Plus, I do hate the thought that I have to pay for 2 separate streaming services or 2 separate platforms to be able to get my UFC. So I hate the thought of that. I want it all in one place. I want it how WWE was, where it was all on Peacock and it's right there for you to get. Make it all accessible. You're going to lose fans when you're putting out a shit product and it's all over the place, but it's not in one place because not everybody has everything anymore. The economy ain't what it used to be. I tell you what, we gotta pick. Can't get the right words. I guess those 55 mgs are kicking in. You gotta pick your poison, if you will. You gotta pick your streaming services wisely. And yeah, so I hate that. I hate the thought of it being on HBO and Netflix, or being on, ESPN and TNT. I hate the thought of having to have 2 brand new subscriptions or 2 separate subscriptions that I only use for UFC. It fucking drives me nuts. I'll do it, especially if they get rid of the pay-per-view model, but I don't think they're going to go with that. I don't think they're going to want to go with the getting rid of the pay-per-view model. But that's all I got for you this week. A little bit of a short show. Just talking, Jon Jones. We're glad he's out of here. Glad that he was here, though, because, like I said, absolute legend. Watched him growing up. I remember his first fight in the UFC and being like, man, that young kid's a beast. But I was like 5, I think, when that happened. I'll have to go back and look. No, I was probably like 11. Probably about 11 when Jon had his first fight in the UFC. But 2008, I was 12. I just turned 12. It was right after my 12th birthday. So, yeah, anyways, coming up this week, International Fight Week. We got the main card breakdown on Wednesday. We're going to come out with the prelim preview probably Thursday or Friday for that, where we break down all the prelims. Our bets from this past week. We had Cody, he went down like half a unit. I went down about 5 units. So year to date, numbers are up there. Cody's still up about 38 units. I'm up about 11. So we're not doing terrible, but we could be doing better. Noah getting killed out there, but he's doing his best. He's going to be back allegedly for the International Fight Week main card breakdown. And then to cap it all off, we got the watch party. We're doing a watch party for UFC 317. Make sure you tune in for that, at least for a little while. We love you. We love having you. And DJ Serenity, thank you for joining the chat. Everybody tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a like. We are on our way to 250 subscribers. We are 12 away. Quite a climb we've had here recently. I appreciate you tuning in, anybody and everybody. Matt with Blood and Beer. Let's have a great night.